Time for another Barkbeetle update. It's now been like 10 days since last time the traps were emptied. And a little bit of good news. I'm not sure exactly how many days it was between clearing out the traps, but it's a little bit less in the traps now, I think. The traps up around the house that I checked here first have quite little in them. It's still the same traps that attract the most. Uh, I think it's 6 traps I have around the house where I'm kind of concerned about keeping what forest that's left there. So I have a little more traps than in other areas, but it's mainly a way to see where I have the most of them. I think this trap had the most of the traps around the house. This is also quite close to where on the neighbor's property there are some fresh wind-fallen trees. I try to pick out the bugs that I hope are predators and eat the bark beetles. Down here I scared a female grouse a while back. She was nesting on 3 eggs, so I didn't want to go too close and disturb her again. Hopefully they will hatch and we have some more grouse. Did check on the trees on the neighbor's property. This one is an old one. This one had bark beetles last summer if it had any. And up here are the fresh fallen trees, and I see signs that they have laid eggs and everything, but I haven't seen any signs in these that any larvae has hatched yet. I have a couple of trees on my own that are attacked, that are laying down. 2 of the timber pieces were missed this winter, and then another small wind-fallen one that's they have attacked. And there I see larvae eating away, but here it seems either they were slow and haven't hatched yet, or it was cold enough for the eggs not to hatch. And yes, I have his permission to look after the trees and dig away bark if I wanted to see their progress. I will probably end up, I was given the trees if I take care of them, and I might have to do something just to hold back the beetles as best as I can. Here I'm also trying to, this is the last trap near the house. Traps further out, hardly anything. I'm not sure if it's good or bad. If they are in the trees it's bad. If there are just few beetles it's good. 4-pock line, broke a hose and getting couplings for that turned out to be a delay. More on that later. In here the neighbor has a wind-fallen tree also that does not seem to be attacked whatsoever. And this trap, I had a lot of ants in it, and they seem to attack the bark beetles. So I'm not sure how much natural enemies or predators the ants are, but I've seen both the red and black ants, and the black ants seem to attack these beetles. So but I would guess that's just when they have access to them. If they have made their way into the holes and dug down into the bark, they're probably safe from the ants, because I don't think they can get into the holes really as well, especially not these red ants. They're a bit bigger than the black ants I've seen in the trap. Other than that, it's mainly some other kinds of beetles, and I hope they are natural predators of them, because I let them go as much as I can. Another trap with not a whole lot. I have pretty much 4 problematic traps, or 4 of them that catch a lot more than the others. As I said in the other video, I've been walking around an area with one of them where I have had a lot of them previously. Here is the first one of these problem traps, and it's a lot more than in the others. Several deciliters of beetles. And next one, quite well filled. This is not that far away from the other one. Around these I have not really walked around searching for any attack this year, but it's quite close to the small windfallen tree I have, and here I have, yeah, you can see they have started making the small little tracks. It's a little tricky, it's shaky, and it was a lot of bugs out. But here the darker patches here, that's the little larvae eating their way out from the main entrance. This tree is also attacked by something that digs itself deeper into the wood than the bark beetles. It goes into the actual wood, it doesn't stay in the bark itself, so I'm not sure what that is. Next up, checking one of the timber pieces that was left. Sorry for the shaky video, but here you can see a few white dots. It's larvae eating their way out. So something needs to be done before they turn into beetles and start swarming. Even if it seems like there was quite a few larvae compared to what I've seen in places in other years, so hopefully the cold rainy spring slowed things down, and a lot of what I'm catching here is from that have survived the winter, because this now, the last two traps are close to the area where I've seen the biggest outbreaks and lost the most standing trees. And here is the last trap. I've read somewhere that there is about 4,000 beetles for every deciliter. You can't really count each individual one, but this is a 2-liter container, and I would say it's 1.5 liters, and I had a little bit I put in a glass jar from the traps near the house that I checked the day before.
Lite glass.
So
Du är 1,5 liter vattenvara.
it could be 40 to 60,000 beetles or something like that. So hopefully a lot of them, because I have very few fresh fallen trees right now, and most of them are attracted to the traps and get caught, and I will have few attacks on standing trees, but it seems so many of them, I'm surprised to not find any standing trees that are under attack, but time will tell. I will do more updates later on. So a fire was made, and the beetles had been transferred to a plastic bag, and should have had a little better fire going this time, but it's hot enough, they will die. I needed to bring out some more material, so these beetles won't hurt any trees at least. So that's it for now. I can tell you, bark beetle smoke smells a little bit odd compared to firewood. So more updates will come, as I said. Over and out.
Ja, och det är väl om jag ska orka